Hello, my name is David Peacock. I'm a library manager at the University of Hertfordshire. I wanted to give a brief introduction to Andrew's main presentation about the technical aspects of the koha integration with RapidILL to give a business context of why the university chose RapidILL, the impact of that integration within koha, and the actual impact it's had on the service. To give some context, University of Hertfordshire's main campus is 20 miles north of London. We have a community of students around sort of 25,000 full-time equivalents. We have 2 learning resource centres that are open 24/7. They're pictured on the screen. And we've used koha with the support of PTFS Europe for hosting and support services since 2015. To set the scene for interlibrary loans at the University of Hertfordshire, the university offers unmediated free interlibrary loans for all students and staff. Traditionally, like many UK libraries, we've used the British Library document delivery and lending services for the majority of our interlibrary loan requests. RapidILL is quite a new service built around a community of reciprocal users and is tailored for article and book chapter requests. The RapidILL tools are used for automating and leveraging and improving the workflows of the institution's collections for peer-to-peer sharing and document delivery. Why did we use RapidILL? Well, the story begins at the start of the first pandemic in March 2020, when the British Library stopped supplying interlibrary loans. We had a speculative email to join a trial of RapidILL around that time. We decided we would join, expecting maybe to get the odd 1 or 2 requests, but never expecting it to fulfill all our requirements during the first lockdown and subsequently. In actual fact, it did meet all our requirements largely, and it superseded our expectations. We found it was very easy to use, and it saved staff a lot of time. We were really impressed by the speed of delivery. During lockdown, we still had 24-hour turnaround, and often it averaged at 12 hours because of time zone awareness. So because it chases the sun, we might as well get documents returned from Australia during the night, awaiting us for our breakfast time, start of the day. We had very high fulfilment rates. During the first lockdown, we had a 92% fulfilment rate. That's very high and much higher than the British Library. So that meant we didn't have to chase individual libraries and get things from individual university libraries that we had previously. In addition, it allowed for new workflows, including instant verification of resource availability, which again improves our need for unmediated requests. We liked the idea of a one-off subscription fee with no transaction fee. So that meant we could scale up usage further and improve our promotion and the visibility of the service without an increase in expenditure. It made obtaining book chapters very easy. And we knew there was the potential to integrate koha interlibrary loans with the RapidILL API and the potential to improve both the usability when placing interlibrary loan requests, improve the speed of fulfillment for the user, and improve staff workflows and efficiencies and productivity. The initial workflow issues we wanted to address with the integration with koha and interlibrary loans were, when we first started during the first lockdown, staff had to cut and paste the request from the RapidILL platform into the koha request form. All requests at that stage had to be mediated. Staff couldn't place the request directly onto the RapidILL platform. We wanted to utilize the power of using DOAs and auto-completion functionality that weren't available with our integration with the British Library API. And finally, UH interlibrary loan staff had to send documents manually from the RapidILL platform onto the requester using the email from within Koha. So these things initially, although there were great savings and great improvements, these things were quite clunky, and we wanted to integrate those within our Koha interlibrary loan workflows. And this, as Andrew will explain, we did, and the impact upon that was really quite substantial. Within the first year of using Rapid ILL, with the exception of August, so 11 months instead of 12 months data here, 88% of all our interlibrary loans goes to Rapid and is fulfilled by Rapid. 12% still goes to the British Library. The graph shows that almost all our article requests and all our chapter requests are fulfilled via Rapid, and British Library largely supplies our book requests. The graph at the bottom shows our interlibrary loan requests for the last 4 years of the academic time period. It actually shows a 46% increase from 2018-2019, which was the last normal year before the pandemic. So a 46% increase. So that's a huge increase, and that excludes August, which isn't yet catered for, shown in these figures. So we will manage to really improve this because of these efficiencies with the Koha integration without really any great increase in staff time. And finally, the auto completion from within different sources like PubMed and Scopus and things like that, that shows that was greatly improved. So now I'll pass you on to Andrew, who can explain the technical details.
Thanks, David. Hello, I'm Andrew Isherwood. I'm a senior software engineer at PTFS Europe. As David just said, and in line with the levelling up theme of this conference, we were really keen to make the Rapid ILL integration with Koha really excel at making it as simple as possible for users to place interlibrary loan requests. The Rapid ILL API is very functional, and we were able to use many parts of it to maximise the chances that a user's request would be fulfilled. I'm going to give you a very short demonstration now of placing a request and managing requests from both the patron and the staff standpoints. So let's jump in. So the first thing we'll do is imagine we're a patron who wants to place an ILL request with Rapid ILL. I should point out at this point that I'm on Hertfordshire's test server, so some of the things we see will be specific to them, but I'll point those out as we go through. So we click create a new request, and this is something that Hearts have turned on. This is a declaration, so we just click past that. So now we're in the Rapid ILL request form. So Rapid ILL provides a number of different material types, and we can see them there. So what I'm going to do is try and place a request for a journal article. And I've got some metadata here, so I'll just copy and paste that in. So we have an article title, we have a year there, and we have an ISSN. So I'll paste that in as well. So that's provided some metadata, and we can see immediately something has popped up that said that the item can't be requested because it's already available locally. So this is telling the user that they don't need to request it because they can already access it. Rapid ILL is aware of Hertfordshire's holdings that they have locally and won't allow a request to be placed for those items. So that's why we're getting this notification here. So the user could at this point just click on the item and then be taken straight to it. So now let's try and place in a request for an item that isn't already locally available. So we click create new request again and go past the declaration. So I've got some metadata here that I'll just paste in now. We have a journal title. We have an article title. We have a year. And we have an ISSN. So now I've got that metadata filled in. If I click make request, that will then contact Rapid ILL and place the request. So we can see that that's now appearing in our list of requests and says it's requested. If we click view, we can see that the metadata we provided is all there, And we've also got a Rapid ILL identifier, which is the unique identifier that Rapid ILL provides. So at this point, the user can be confident that the request they've placed has been placed and accepted and will be fulfilled as quickly as possible. It's sometimes the case that when a user's placing a request, they don't have sufficient metadata for that request to be fulfilled automatically. However, the Rapid ILL integration provides the facility for staff members to jump in, provide any missing metadata, and then attempt the submission again. So I'll show you how that works. So if we're a patron now, placing a request, I'm going to provide a journal title, an article title, and an ISSN. This request will fail because this isn't sufficient metadata for the request to happen automatically. So let's see what happens. We click Make a Request. So this has created a request within Koha, but it hasn't created a request within Rapid ILL. But as far as the user's concerned, they've provided all the metadata that they had. So it's now the responsibility of a staff member to go into the request, modify it, add in any missing metadata, and then submit it. So I'll show you how that works now. So over here in the staff interface, we can see the request here, and we can immediately see in the staff notes that we've got a note from the Rapid ILL API saying that we must specify a year or volume. So that's identified the metadata that's missing for this request. So at this point, I can go into the request and edit the item metadata, add the year, which is 1915, update the request, and then I can attempt to place the request again. So if we click Request from Rapid ILL, that goes away, places the request. We can see the status is now requested. And down here, we've got a Rapid ILL identifier, which is the unique identifier for that request with Rapid ILL. So that's how a staff member can jump in after a request has been placed, fix anything that's wrong with it, and then resubmit it to Rapid ILL. If we look in the request log, we can see that that whole process was audited. We've got the request has changed from a new request to requested status, and the request here has succeeded. So we log all of that, and it's all very, very easy to see the flow that a request has followed. I'm going to revert this request now because it's actually a live request and we don't want that to go through. And if we now look at the request log again, we can see that the status has changed from requested to cancellation requested. On the staff side of things, we try and do as much as we possibly can to help staff members when they're creating requests to make sure that they're providing the correct metadata and so on. So let's have a quick look at that now. So we go and create a Rapid ILL request. And we can see immediately we've been provided with help at the bottom here for the fields we need to fill in for the material type that we've selected. Obviously, as we change the material type, those fields will change and they will update as the user fills them in. So if I start filling in some information, this is an article title, a year, and an ISSN, and a user. So now I've selected that, we can see here that the item again is we've been notified that the item is available locally. So that's the first thing we do. This is in line with the patron side of things. We alert the user that the item is available locally. So if we just get rid of this metadata now and try a different item. So if we provide a journal title, an article title, a year, and an ISSN, Rapid ILL is immediately contacted to find out whether this item can be requested, and we can see that it can. So the staff member at this point can submit the request and have confidence that that item is going to be fulfilled and the request can be placed without any problems. If the user had provided some invalid metadata, for example, a bad ISSN, the Rapid ILL API can actually tell them. So if I just modify this ISSN, Rapid ILL is contacted and the user is immediately told that the ISSN is invalid. So that's a very quick way of them knowing that they need to fix that. So if I just fix that ISSN now and then place this request. That will then place the request with Rapid ILL. And then I can quickly show you the live log that we pull in from Rapid ILL whenever we're on the Manage ILL request page. So here we are, and if I just scroll down, we can see we always get a live view of the Rapid ILL history for any request that we're viewing. So currently the Rapid ILL state is pending. Well, this isn't actually a request we want to be fulfilled. So if I click Revert Request, that will revert the request as you might expect. And then if we look in the log, we can see that the request has now been cancelled. So we're always pulling in the most up-to-date status for any request that's been placed. So that's a quick overview of how we use what is a very functional API to maximize the value to the user when placing requests with the Rapid ILL integration. Finally, we'll take a quick look at a very small bit of development that was done off the back of the Rapid ILL work and just helps level up the user experience of ILL in general. This isn't strictly tied to the Rapid ILL integration. This can be used with other interlibrary loan providers as well. So in short, we're using Crossref to automatically look up metadata based on a DOI. So the user just has to paste in a DOI into the form and the rest of the metadata is automatically populated. So if I just paste in a DOI here, Crossref is contacted, the DOI is looked up, and then the metadata is supplied. So it's just another way to make the whole experience of creating an interlibrary loan request simpler within Koha. I hope this has been interesting. Thanks very much.